John McCann, hello.
Hello, hello, Gav Beavis. How are you?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, good.
So you've had a chance to play with the G Watch. What do you think of it? Do you think it's the next step in smartwatches, or is it just another attempt to put something on your wrist?
I think the design is very safe. LG hasn't really done anything new in terms of design. It's just another black slab. It's very similar to the Sony smartwatch 2 in that respect. It's just like, well, what's the most functional and easiest and safest option? Let's just stick with the black square. And it's it's a bit boring. While it's cool as a gadget, it doesn't look that great. There's so much interest around the Moto 360 because that does look cool. That looks really nice, stylish, premium. This is a plastic slab with a cheap-looking rubber strap, which is an absolute dust magnet. And you can change the strap. Obviously, any 22mm or 0.86-inch strap can be attached to it. So you could get yourself a proper watch strap, maybe a metal one or something, which should help the aesthetics. But still, it's not very enticing. Interestingly, there's no buttons on it at all. Usually you have at least a power key to turn it on, turn it off, but you can't. You can turn it off, but then to turn it back on, you've got to return it to its charging cradle, which is a bit backwards. So
what do you think about you've used it obviously connected to your phone a few days. I mean, has it really become a good companion device? Has it helped at all?
It's really tricky to say. It's nice to have because I like having the additional tech and going, oh, this is quite cool, and reading texts on my wrist. But I read the text, and then instead of talking back to it and dictating my reply back, I find myself still putting my phone out and tapping out.
Isn't the point just getting the option to do that though? You would have done that anyway, but sometimes the companion device will let you know when you can just have a quick glance and not bother looking at your phone.
Well, exactly. If a text or something comes through and I'm not interested, I can swipe it away and I can deal with it later, or not at all if it's really boring.
Socialite.
I know. Well, I am quite popular.
Obviously, the notifications element has been a strong part of smartwatches. The Galaxy Gears, the Pebble, they've all been able to do that. But what about the Google Now integration? Google Now has been slowly getting better in the background on phones. Is it really working on the smartwatch? I mean, that's what it's really supposed to be. It's supposed to be Google Now on your wrist, and it's a competitor to the iWatch. It
is an improvement on previous speech recognition on other wearables. The Galaxy Gear, the S voice on that wasn't really up to much, whereas on the G Watch you can really see the difference. I can set an alarm and check them really easily. I can take notes. I can dictate text messages and emails. I can start a call. I can call someone, but I'd have to then get my phone out to actually speak to them. Yeah. But and it recognises it most of the time. It does a good job. It does get confused every now and then. The speech recognition is good. It's not perfect.
I found you're right. It's not perfect, but I found it's much better than most things I've seen recently.
Yeah.
Which I found Google Now generally. The phones that have got the Galaxy S5, the G3, where the phone's on the table. If it's turned on, you just say, "Okay, Google," blah blah blah, and it'll pick it up. Found a very similar experience on the watch. So that's been positive.
Yeah, the only area where it really sort of gets tripped up is when it comes to recognising your contacts. Some people have people named under odd names, difficult for Google to sort of understand, or you might have multiple numbers and email addresses attached to the one contract.
The difficult bit, yeah.
And then it has to prompt you for which one, but maybe you've already started dictating your message, and then it all gets a bit confusing, and then you're just like, oh, I should have just pulled my phone out and done it.
So if you're down the pub and your friends see it for the first time, and there's like most people, they say, why do I need a smartwatch? Does this answer that question anymore?
I don't think anyone needs a smartwatch.
But more so, I mean, the Gear Live, sorry, not the Gear Live, the Galaxy Gear, the Gear 2, the Gear Fit, all of these kind of like wearables notification areas, the smartwatches that people saw, and people said, why would I need this? I don't need this. It doesn't make any sense. I haven't got a Samsung phone, whatever. I mean, just Android Wear and the G Watch, does that start to solve it at all, or do you think people get closer?
It does to an extent, because it'll work with any Android device running Android 4.3 or above. Yeah. So you're not wedded to a particular smartphone, depending. It doesn't matter if it's made by Samsung or LG. You can use a Motorola or an HTC. Yeah. That's fine. So that makes it more open and more easily accessible to everyone. It means you can have a low-end smartphone and still have a watch, and it will still work fine.
Does Google Now, does that, the fact that you've got cards popping up on your phone, it seemed to me that was better than what the Gear 2 did.
Yeah, for sure. It tries and guesses what information you need when. So towards the end of my working day, it will tell me how long it takes to get home. In the morning, it will tell me how long it takes to get into work. There's a weather card as well in the morning, so I know what to wear if need be. And another nice feature is navigation. If I'm always walking around London trying to find some offices or something, and I'm on my phone.
Anyone's will do.
Any office will do, yeah. But no, usually offices are a particular company or PR, and you keep getting your phone out. Am I going the right way? Yeah. Whereas this, you can set the navigation going on your phone, but then it will pop up the directions on on your wrist, and that's really useful. Just simple, turn left, turn right onto this street, and it's just there in front of you. And you can swipe through them, and you can get rid of them very easily. Another little feature I liked was the music controls. So I've got my phone in my pocket, I've got my Bluetooth headphones on, and I want to skip the song. I can just go to my watch and press next. It's very simple. It's a nice little feature. You can play, pause. It's really nice. I mean, I would like a little bit more functionality, volume and whatnot, but it's a good start. And there are lots of things. There's a pedometer as well in there, so if you like to track your steps, it can keep up. I mean, I've been using it while wearing the Jawbone as well, and the G-Watch seems a little bit more generous in the steps it's awarding me, but it's not massively.
No, I did get like some 17 extra steps when I was sitting down having a meeting, but generally it seems to have been pretty good. I feel like maybe the fitness stuff could be a little bit better. But again, I feel like apart from the fact that the hardware doesn't support things like a heart rate monitor right now, integrated, it might support one separately one day. I don't know. But we're waiting for the apps to come out now and for it to become a real second screen to your phone and see what it does with that. So I think, for me, from what I can gather, it seems to me that this is Android Wear version 1. And like a lot of things, version 3 will be the one that turns it into something really good. And Google's not going to give up on this space anytime soon, especially if the iWatch turns up. It seems to be fairly cheap as well, just under £160 for the watch, or even cheaper if you buy it in bundles. So if you've got a friend who's willing to, maybe got some birthday money, that'd be nice, a bit of Christmas money, a little windfall. Who knows? They're saying, what should I get, John? Should I buy myself a smartwatch? Would you recommend the G-Watch?
If they're desperate for a watch, yes, go out and get it. It's you can have a lot of fun with it. The future is bright by the looks of it for smartwatches. So there's only going to be added more functionality and apps over the next coming months. Although, unless you have to have it right now this week, I'd say wait a couple of months, see what the Motorola 360. Everyone's getting really excited about that. We need to wait and see if it's actually going to be as good as everyone's hoping is. That round screen looks cool. But is that actually going to be practical? Is that going to be a real pain for developers to code for compared to the traditional square? So I'd say give it a couple of months, see the extra apps that come out, see if any other manufacturers get on board as well.
Well, HTC said they're going to be getting in the wearables market later this year.
Yeah.
They've said that already somewhere.
So, we've got some more. I mean, and there's always the potential of an iWatch later in the year, which won't go away. And now with Google putting a big push forward, there's murmurings of a Microsoft one for Windows Phone as well. So I'd say wait towards the end of the year, and because we're going to have more choice, there's going to be more apps available, the ecosystem's going to be developed more. Some of the initial sort of bugs and slight issues and confusing menu settings and stuff will be ironed out, and it will be a cleaner experience.